It's raining, but there are lots of birds to see today. I'm at Murphy's Point Provincial Park with my family for a very rainy Easter weekend hike. We're at the Lally Homestead Trail, and this park is open during the winter as well for skiing and snowshoeing. So check that out next winter. There are lots of great trails here and lots of water access spots where you can get great views of pond and lake wildlife. On our drive here this morning, we saw 2 osprey on nests. That was such an awesome spring thing to see, having the osprey back. Where we live, there's large stretches of road with osprey nesting platforms, and oftentimes in the late spring and early summer you can see the osprey babies poking their heads up out of those nests, or see the parents bringing fish back and sometimes sitting on the tops of power lines eating fish, which is very cool. All right, we'll see how this hike goes. We're walking down an area that is part of the groomed ski trail. You can see, because of the grooming process where the snow is packed down, this area hasn't melted yet. There's still lots of snow on the trail in sections. This part of the trail is also lined with prickly ash. Prickly ash has very big thorns or spines on it, and these are solid enough that they will rip your clothes. So just mind your hands and your expensive fancy hiking clothes. There's a lot of this stuff on the ground. Here's another one that is budding but not open yet. There are lots of really beautiful species of lichens here. Lichens are really interesting because they are specialists in an extreme way. So there are lichens that will only grow on certain substrates. Here we have lichens growing on, zoom out here, growing on this piece of rock. And I have some photos as well of sort of lichen clouds that are more branched lichens. They look a bit like corals. And they're growing on soil, and there are lichens that prefer to grow on wood. So it's kind of a neat aspect of this group of organism. And we can see there are also other categories of lichens. We have crustose lichens, which this probably would be considered a crustose lichen. They look more like they've been painted on. Actually, this is a good example down here. Look at these cool ones. These little black things on it are very likely the fruiting bodies. These are probably pixie cup lichen or maybe trumpet lichen. There are a lot of similar but slightly different species that have this sort of shape of looking like a trumpet, but I'll try and grab some other photographs on this hike that I can pop in here for you to see. I just went off trail about maybe 10 meters, 20 meters. After I'd gotten down to the edge of the water, grabbed a few photos, and turned to head back, I looked down at my pants, and I had 3 ticks on my pants just in the 2 or 3 minutes I'd spent walking off trail. This has happened to us before at this park, where we've walked through the forest undergrowth or understory just for a moment to go look at something, and ended up with ticks on us anywhere we touched a branch, basically. So I highly recommend doing a thorough tick check after a hike at Murphy's Point. It is known as having quite a high tick population. but it helps to check for ticks as you hike every so often, just to look down at your clothes, because the ticks I think had just gotten on me and I was able to take them off right away. So be tick aware, and if you have a dog, keep your dog on a leash. It's the law here at the provincial parks, but it also will prevent your dog from picking up lots of ticks out in the forest and bringing them back into your car after your hike. We've just stopped for lunch at the Lally homestead. I'm standing inside the stone ruins here, and during our lunch break we were treated to a really wonderful bird sighting. There was a pair of eastern bluebirds that were flying around this little log building, and we don't know if they're trying to build a nest somewhere around there, but the male and female were zipping around, and my husband and daughter saw the female catch and eat a worm. I tried to get a few pictures with my other camera, but they are very nervous birds, and I tried to keep a safe distance, but they really were busy, understandably. This is the busy season for birds. It's like their tax season, but probably more fun and exciting. Hiked sort of this way on the Lally Homestead Trail to start. We're going to go the other direction next, and we found some interesting dead things and lots of poop. And I don't know if I'll put the photos of the dead things in the video. I hope to keep these videos, you know, educational and kind of escapism for being out in nature if you can't get out. And I'm not really sure, maybe I'll make a separate video of just weird dead things I've found on hikes.
An ant walks on the kitchen floor, white sugar bags and vinegar. The door swings in an empty sigh, remembering all those sweet delights the house once made. Those were brighter days.
Guess what? I found our first frog of the spring, and it has some interesting yellow markings by its eyes. I'm not a frogologist. Hey buddy, I'm just gonna sneak around here. There we go, so we can get a good side view. It looks like the throat area might be quite yellow, and I think I recently learned that, I don't know if it was male bullfrogs or male green frogs have a yellow throat. I think it's green frogs. Anyway, look at that lovely little friend. Hey bud, we'll just leave you to enjoy your funny little frog hole. Leaf. Can you see what it is? Oh my god. It's not my favorite kind of creature. I'm gonna move this and try to not barf. Oh, barf. Okay. That is a humongous spider. Look at that. Ooh. Might be a species of wolf spider. So this would be a species of spider that overwinters. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful and also gross.
A kettle steams over oven coils, boiling water, it whistles a noise. Door swings in an empty sigh, remembering all those bitter goodbyes the house once made. Those were lonely days.
There's a grackle calling. It's just up in the top of this tree right there. There was the pileated woodpecker. It has been a fantastic hike today at Murphy's Point Provincial Park. I'm trying to think of how many different species of birds we've seen today. It was a lot. Probably one of the most unexpected, or two most unexpected bird sightings of the day were the eastern bluebirds. We saw a pair of them that seemed to be foraging for food and possibly checking out a nest spot in the side of a log building. I took a picture of the hole in the side of the building that we think they were looking at for nesting. The other surprise was as we were hiking through part of the Silver Queen mica mine trail, in the distance we could hear the sound. It sounds a bit like a fluty raven call, and it was sandhill cranes calling in the distance. That sound just does something to me. It's just such a cool, otherworldly sound. That was really special. I wish we had been able to go and check them out, but we've been out here for 4.5 hours at least today, and our kiddo is getting a bit worn out, and we're all getting pretty hungry because it is about dinner time. But it really has been an amazing day. Some other highlights of the day included seeing my first firefly of the year, a giant, beautiful, and slightly icky spider. I'm not keen on large spiders right in my vicinity. We saw a beautiful hawk, which I think is a red-tailed hawk. Trumpeter swans, I always love hearing them call as well. They just sound so sweet and comical. Lots of duck sightings, phoebes calling to each other and fighting territorially. Anyway, I hope you get a chance to come check out Murphy's Point Provincial Park trails, and I highly recommend the trails around the Lally homestead. There's some neat old buildings and mine sites and lots of beaver lodges to watch for activity this spring and summer. See you next time on the trail. Bye for now.